Hi everyone, Tasha here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to create a little card using items from Maker Forte. Some of the supplies I'll be using today includes this fun little stamp set. It's called Love in Every Stitch. And then I'll be using the cable knit cardigan stencil, a piece of black cardstock, and 2 pieces of white cardstock, a piece of this really cute double-sided black and white pattern paper. The paper pad is called Dots and Patterns, and I'll be using this sheet of paper for my project. I'll also be using a piece of cardstock from Maker Forte. This is in the color Tiptree Jam, and it's a really nice weighted paper. I'll be using inks in the color Eclipse Black, Yellowstone, and Flamingo. I'm going to start by stamping my cute little image, and this is such a sweet little stamp. It has the gnome who's knitting this little knitted thing with a heart, and then she has her little dog there with her. I love dogs, and I just think this is just the sweetest stamp set. I was so excited to receive this one because I do like knitting and I love dogs. So gnomes, dogs, and knitting is perfect in my book. And I'm just going to go in and do some simple coloring. I did cut this image out, but you don't have to. You can stamp it directly onto a piece of white paper. But since I was going to be doing some stenciling, I wanted to cut the image out and then I could layer it on top of my stenciled background. So I'm going in with just several shades of Copic markers, and I'm just doing some simple coloring. I'm adding some blues to the knitted area. I had purple on the hat and then a nice pink heart, and I'm going to use the same pink on the little doggy's hat. So again, you can color this with whatever you choose to. I do like to use markers and color pencils on most of my projects, but this would also look great with some no-line coloring, or even if you wanted to do it with some watercolors, that would be really fun too. Once I was done, this is my completed stamped and colored image, and then I'm going to move on to stenciling. This stencil pattern is really great for this project because it goes along with that stamp we used. The colors I'm going to be stenciling with are Yellowstone and Flamingo. And my thought is that these two together will make a pretty orange color. So I thought I could have the pink on top, the yellow on the bottom, and then meet in the middle and have it blend together to make a really pretty orange color. So I'm starting with the yellow or the Yellowstone color on the bottom. And since this stencil, the width of it is for a slimline card, and I'm having the card be more of a traditional size card, I did block off the edge that didn't reach with some low tack tape because I'm going to line up the stencil at the end so that I can have this pattern all the way across. So remember, when you have a slimline stencil, you can use it on your A2 or even your 5x7 cards. You'll just have to block it off with some low tack tape so this way you can extend the width of the stencil design, but you're not limited to just using it on slimline cards. I love how this turned out. I love that blend of color in the middle, and I just think it's so pretty. Color Hive inks are awesome. They are water reactive, so you can add little droplets if you want to, but they just work so great on stencils. Next, I'm going over to my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut that pattern paper down to size. I'm just making some simple cuts. After that, I'm going to cut the Tiptree Jam down to size, and I wanted this to mat the center card and the pattern paper. Do you see how it has that pop along the edge of the color because we had that black and white? I also used the same on that center card just to keep everything nice and clean and then look really finished once I was done. Next, I'm going to go in and stamp my sentiment. This little stamp set is small, but it includes several greetings. The one I selected is called Just One More Stitch, and I think that's fun to send any time of year, especially if you have a friend or family member who enjoys knitting or crocheting and just enjoys those crafts that use yarn. They'll totally get this because when you start a project, it's hard to stop. I wanted this to go along with the colors I used with that black and white pattern paper, so I decided to do some embossing. I embossed white onto the black cardstock, and then I matted the sentiment with that same Tiptree Jam cardstock to coordinate with those other layers. To adhere my layers, I'm just using some glue runner. You can use liquid adhesive or whatever you choose. You could also use score tape. I'm just using some glue runner because I have it on hand. I'm using that same adhesive for all of my layers. So I'm just going in and adding that top layer. I love how these colors look with that black and white background. And then you have that stenciled background. There's so much detail in this card, and you just have those two main layers. For the little gnome and the dog image, I did use some little black foam tapes just to raise it up a bit. I already had this cut out, so just having it raised up a little bit has that background behind it, and I do like that dimension. For the greeting, I'm just going to line it up where I want where that opening is, and then just use that same adhesive to attach it to my card. For a little more sparkle, I'm going in with some crown jewels in the color Yellowstone. This coordinates, of course, with the Yellowstone ink, but it also looks great with the flamingo pink color. And these are just little pops of sunshine. Crown jewels are super sparkly, and there's a wide variety of color choices on the Maker Forte website. I will have these linked below, along with that poker tool that I'm using to adhere them to the card. Next, I'm going to make a simple card base with some white cardstock. I'm using my Maker Forte bone folder, and this one's great because one side is pointed, but the other side is flat edged, so you can easily score all of your projects and card bases. Once I was done, I just went to my trimmer and trimmed it down to size, and then use that same adhesive to attach my card. It does have a little bit of a white edge, but I do like how that looks, so you just have another layer of color. Here's just another peek of the project we created today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.